How's it going, Davey?
Hey, how's it going, buddy? How you doing, Nigel?
I'm doing very well. I'm happy that you're here in Palm Desert.
Yeah.
This is your second time in Palm Desert.
Yeah. No, it's hot as it was. It's cooler now. It's a cool 85. I think. 80.
Yeah, just like in the last week, we've been cooling down by about 10 degrees, and this is the best weather we've had. So
Yeah.
you're welcome. No, no, it's good. I'm glad you brought it with you. You guys brought in the LA weather. It's very nice.
Yeah.
So off camera, just a minute ago, you were talking to our video guy Robert about where you're from. Where are you from?
I'm from Ephrata, and it's a small little town in eastern Washington. It's by Idaho. It's like, so you have two sides of the state of Washington State. Like, you have the west side, which is the coasties and the liberals, and then you go to the eastern part. We identify, we're like the transgender people, but we just identify as Idaho people because it's like that's more of our culture, guns and God.
Yeah,
and
the
like,
hills have eyes.
Yeah, type. Yeah.
To them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, it's a different culture. We've actually like growing up there. We tried to secede from the state for like 100 years.
Really?
Yeah, because we wanted our own state. Because we're all just. That's why you have all the militias.
What does it take to secede?
Petitions. My dad signed it like 70 years. My dad was alive. He would sign the petition every year. So they haven't given up, even though it's gone on for like 120 years.
Wow, and it's still going on?
Yeah, it's still going. We still have rallies up in Wenatchee, Washington.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a different culture. Like, cause on the west side it's all Democrats, and on the east side it's all Republicans and militiamen.
Okay.
It's militia country. That's what I tell people.
Does that ever come into your shows? Like, you perform out there? Is it a mixed crowd? Is it right? Is it left? Is it?
No,
how does it work?
Like it's who I am, because it's like we didn't, like, I'm 40 years old, so we didn't have internet, and we didn't have anything but our imagination growing up there. Like I'm old school country. We used to have to order our clothes from JCPenney catalog because we didn't have any stores. We'd have to go 50 miles to like a mall or
mail
whatever.
order.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Sears and Roebuck.
Yeah. So it was a big deal, man. Like you knew everybody ordered their clothes, and it didn't matter how much money you had, unless you were like wanted to like do 50 miles or whatever.
Yeah. How did comedy start?
How comedy start? Okay, that's an interesting story. I was on downtime. I used to from 15 to 21. I worked at a potato processing plant. Like, my dad worked there, did that type of work for 20 years, and I was on downtime, and I was taking a break from drinking. And I have an aunt that lives in Pasadena, and I was like, shit. Well, let me go do this open mic at the store. And I sucked really bad, but I'm the type of person, I'm competitive. So if I suck at something, I'm going to keep working at it. And then a year later, I got passed at the Comedy Store at 23 years old, man.
When you got passed, do you remember it? Do you remember how it happened, what they said to you? Can you share that?
Yeah, it was, I was passed on my birthday, June 13th. I remember the phone call. They called me up and said, Mitzi passed you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
On my birthday, yeah, she was in the back. I've never been more terrified of a little Jewish lady in my life, because I'd seen her cut off people because she didn't like their hair.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm country, but I was really country when I first moved out here. I wore overalls and.
You wear a hat, cowboy hat, or
no? I wasn't a cowboy dude.
But you wear boots and
boots, knives and guns.
Yeah.
I was the only Comedy Store comic that's not allowed to carry weapons up at the comedy club, because I used to wear a knife on my thing because I thought everybody did that.
Yeah.
That they told me that wasn't a West Hollywood thing.
Okay. Yeah. Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah. I have a Bowie.
That's not a knife.
Yeah, I had a Bowie knife. Yeah.
Nice.
I had a nice Bowie knife.
Well, it seems like that would be come in handy being in the streets of Hollywood. There's always, you never know, walking down the street, someone might come up to you and, give me your money, unless it's changed. But
well, yeah, no, it was like one time. Do you know a comedian named Shivago?
I don't know.
Shivago. Well, we were coming over a Laurel Canyon, right? And there was a dead deer So like, he's from LA, but he's like, oh, well, let me. I was like, and it got hit. So I was like, hey, let's go check out the deer. I got my knife. We'll dress it right here on the highway.
See if the meat's good.
Yeah. Like, and like some lady from Burbank, like, or wherever we were, she's like, are you guys really out here?
Oh no.
Yeah. She was watching me look at the deer, and I start cutting it open. And
they probably think it's a sacrifice or something.
Yeah, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, well, the meat's still good. We can do it right here. He's like, don't. Oh, all right. It was a little.
But had that happen where you're from, that's probably would be like a normal thing? I mean, do people, I mean, I watched a documentary where people eat roadkill, but deer, I mean, it's good meat as long as there's not riddled with
ticks and
all that stuff. Yeah.
So, no, it is, like, it's a different, like, people don't. See, where I grew up, I kind of grew up in an area like this because in Eastern Washington it's all climatized desert. So we get your summertime weather up there.
Oh.
It gets 120 and stuff like that. So up there because it's all desert. But in the wintertime, because we get snow, we get dust storms, we get dust bowls, and all that stuff. So it's like it was a different. We did crazy shit growing up. Let's
talk about, again, off camera, you were talking about the cow. Let's talk about that. You were saying the school.
Oh, well, so I was in Mr. Carlson's animal science class, right?
Yeah.
Where we like, one of our things that we'd watch. You ever watch Big Bucks?
What's that one?
That's where, like, in the science class, it's a hunting show. Mm-hmm. And we used to watch it part of our science class. I don't know what it had to do with science, but we would watch hunting videos in science class.
Maybe the science teacher was lazy that day and was
hungover.
No,
this was a consistent
thing. So it was a program that was,
Yeah, they had a fly fishing program.
Well, again, because you said that you had, like, a bull riding. Like, I mean, I'm not going to talk for you because off camera you said a bunch of stuff, but it seems like you had quite the
we had
quite the electives.
Yeah, we had the high school. We had the high school rodeo team.
That's awesome.
Kyle Proctor's from my area. He's all-around cowboy. Won all-around cowboy.
You got to sign insurance claims for that. I mean, because you get your head stomped on by a bull.
We're all white trash. We don't.
Right. Well, this day and age, that seems like like they even have shop class for kids anymore. So
it was.
People are scared.
So how I got kicked out of that class was me and a couple of my friends. Like Mr. Carlson was telling us about the black market of, like, for cattle.
Mm-hmm.
So we get a little drunk, sophomores in high school, why not? Drinking, smoking. Like, hey man, let's go steal the cattle. And because we had trucks, and we were like, okay, we broke in, and they caught us breaking in because we're like, what are you kids doing? And we were like, we're gonna start a black market because we know the value of this cow. Like, and they told us, we were like, you guys can't be doing this. Like, they just laughed.
Yeah.
But that was what we did on a norm. We were so isolated from everything, even in our own state where I grew up. It's like, it was like, to understand this is, even though I grew up on the West Coast, I grew up in a Bible Belt area. Like, they ran a movie rental place out because they had the NC-17s in the back. Mm-hmm. And so they signed a petition, the town did, and closed down the movie rental place. Yeah, so, and then they banned MTV MTV was banned in my town. So we would watch Much Music because they thought MTV was the devil channel.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
So the Canadian was more pure and more Christian.
I remember Much TV. I remember like a globe. The logo. Yeah. Uh-huh.
When Tom Green used to rap.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever meet Tom Green?
Occasionally. I only bring him up. I grew up on your rap music, and it did really respect.
I've been working on getting him here for one of the gigs out here, and I actually got a guy talking to him now, but I'd love for him to come out. So Tom Green, if you're listening, come out here, and because I grew up to that too. The Tom Green show, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
like I watch clips on YouTube, and I'm like, this show stands up till today. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
the way he would mess with his parents, and I'm a fan of his stuff, and he's a fan of skateboarding. I grew up skateboarding, and so it's kind of cool, and to see him do stand up now is. I haven't watched much of his stand-up, but is it cool? Is it?
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. Sure I mean, he draws, so like people enjoy it, and so you grew up here in Palm Desert, right?
I grew up in a town called Monrovia near Pasadena.
Oh, I know Monrovia.
Yeah, so I grew up there, and then I moved out here. But all my family now is in Monrovia, and when they were moving from the desert. They're like, Nigel, do you want to come to Monrovia, LA with us again? And I'm like, I'm gonna stay out here, and because I'm in a band, I'm like, I'm gonna stick with my guys, and best decision I ever made, because now I'm talking to guys like you and doing my thing out here.
And so how far, like, did you ever go to Pasadena at all?
Yeah, I would, but again, my family, like 3 generations are from Monrovia.
Yeah. So do you know that bar? There's a bar in Pasadena called the Colorado, right?
I'm not familiar, because when I was living there, I wasn't even old to drink.
Oh, well, I'll tell you a little ditty about when I first moved here. This is how redneck I was. The statutes of limitations have run out on this crime, so we can tell the story. Okay. So I'm sitting there. I'm at the bar. I'm sitting drinking with a couple English dudes, because they're white trash English dudes. And they're like, oh, this is definitely somebody we'd hang out with. And they were just East Enders. And so I'm in there drinking. And then they get into a random fight just because they wanted to fight somebody. So we all get kicked out. But then they turn to me and they go, you're 86. And I'm like, I didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
So I walk back into the front of the bar. And now in the front of the bar, like you walk back in, they have a pool table right next to the where the front bar is, right? I'm like, hey, Johnny, why'd I get banned? Like, why'd I get 86? I didn't do nothing. He goes, you did something. I'm like, oh, you want me to do something? Okay. I triggered. So I grabbed the pool balls from the front of the pool table and started heaving them at the back of the bar.
Ooh.
Breaking all the bottles.
Damn.
But fast forward, and then I'm outside being country with a pool stick saying, this is my world. Did anybody want to come into my square? Because I had just moved there. I that's how I grew up. And so, and then what happened was a couple years later, I'm at the Ice House, right? Now this bar had major history. It never had a day it was closed for 40 something odd years.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there, I'm sitting there talking to some, like a comic buddy of mine. I'm telling him the story, and some waiter looks at me. He goes, that was you? I go, what do you mean? Like, you made the newspaper, man. Like, they put you in the newspaper. They said some random person came in through pool balls, and the first time in 40 years, this bar had to be closed down.
Roadhouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta call Patrick Swayze to bounce you.
Yeah, bounce me. Yeah. I was firing brimstone. I ain't like that no more. I'm 40 years old.
So you got a reputation there? Or do they forget about it?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it no more. I mean, this was like, I was 21, 22, and like where I grew up, that was normal. Like if you were in a bar, like I give you there's this bar called the Del Red. We call it the Bloody Bucket. That's the name of it. Mm-hmm. But me and my buddy John, who's featuring for me, he had never seen a place like this before. This is like real redneck. Like one time I threw up on the bar there, and I took a rag and cleaned it off, and Darlene goes, oh, you cleaned it off. You're not that fucked up. You want another shot? And that's how they roll.
Their standards are different.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's always been that way. And so that's how I grew up. Like you could do the most, as long as you could do the craziest shit, as long as you cleaned up your mess, you get a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, make your bed.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's talk about the store. That's where I think I met you. How's that going? Have you been there lately?
Yeah, no, I just did a spot last night in the OR, and like it's changed through the years. I mean, there was times when it because I'm from the, do you call it the dead days? Like I'm from that era, so it's like it's nice. Like no matter what time you go up, there's 40, 50 people just sitting there. It's a change of things. Like the club is like I'll say this. I like. The club changed, and I changed for the better. So it's like, and anybody that can, you just never give up on that. You just keep your head forward, and anybody can change. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But what a great place. How long was your set?
Last night?
Yeah.
15.
15?
Yeah.
So do you ever have any trouble running the light, or do you just get off? Like, how does that work? I mean, I'm not a comic, but how does it work with the light? Is it certain venues where I got to get off?
No.
Or you kind of have it timed out?
I've been doing it for 17 years.
So not even an issue, yeah.
Yeah, I see it, and then I'm going to run it. If I run it, I know I'm running it.
What happens if you run it at the store?
Nothing.
They
don't put you in comedy detention.
They don't take you to the back.
Yeah, then they wouldn't have no one on their lineups because everybody kind of runs it.
Yeah, I'm sure there may be some guys that run it, but I mean that
not like 30 minutes. No, everybody
Okay.
runs it by everybody kind of runs it. Like if you've been doing it a while,
Yeah.
you'll push the limit by 2 or 3 minutes. Nothing big. Like
Yeah.
I'm not Chappelle. I'm not gonna go up there and do 2 hours. Nobody's here to see me for 2 hours. So. I'm at the end of the lineup, but it's a blessing to be there, and it's a blessing to be here. I mean, it's a blessing, and you just take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, I've done all sorts of gigs where I've had a lady like heckle me in sign language. Yeah.
How does that work?
Oh, I didn't know.
Do you remember what the sign language was?
No, I just remember me flipping her
Oh,
off.
that's yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is the only thing I know.
only know cuss words.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, that was up in Lebanon, Missouri, man.
I wonder if there's ever a comedian that could talk and sign. That'd be an interesting thing because actually in concerts they now have this lady, I don't know her name, but she does all the rap, all the bunch of shows. And she's on these big stages, keeping up with these rappers doing these crazy signs, and some people think she's just dancing, but she's signing for people. And I'm wondering if in an alternate universe or who knows, but that could be I wonder if that could ever be a thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure.
I'll do that. I'll do that for my comedy special when I shoot it. Like have
Yeah.
somebody sign. She might not be able to translate some of my words. What the hell did? What redneck?
How do you say redneck in sign language?
Yeah.
Girl. I don't know, but yeah, you're a real talent and really funny. And I met you through Ian Edwards.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He seems like one of your good friends.
I mean, he likes. I know
he loves you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just likes being a friend because I think he just likes taking a redneck to a vegan restaurant. That's what I think he likes doing. So I look confused the whole damn time I'm there, and it's fun. We tour, and that's what we do. When we tour together, he always finds a vegan restaurant where I have to sit and just like order a $10 smoothie and be angry. But I like Ian. No, he's one of my best friends, and he's been a really good person to me. And there's a lot of good people out here in this business.
There really is, yeah. And it seems like with comedy, unlike music, it's small circles. If you know one person, you're basically 1 degree of separation away from anyone.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of knows everybody, which is really cool, I think, whether it's for the good or for the bad. I think it's awesome, actually.
Well, hey, I really appreciate everything. I got to go get ready to do my set, and if that's okay.
Yeah, no, we hear him wrapping up, so that's a good way to get out of this. What's that tattoo there? Let's see that real quick.
Oh, that's the tattoo of a band that I thought was gonna make it. Road 20. You can look them up on Spotify, but they haven't played together in 20 years.
Let's shout out your Instagram for the people.
Davey Wester, Davey Wester. So find me on Instagram.
Yeah, Davey's about to hit the stage. All right, Davey.
Thank you, Nigel.
Thank you very much. Right on.